That's a good business plan, isn't it?
I have known Mike Stamford since 1997 when we were together in graduate school in the Eric Taylor lab. He's been a friend ever since. I refer to Mike affectionately as Father Grayling. I don't think I've met anyone with that as deep an understanding of the scientific literature and a continued following of it, as well as a personal knowledge of the Williston Reservoir watershed, where Arctic grayling are arguably at most risk in BC. And we've worked together on many projects, and that's something that I just couldn't imagine being out here studying Arctic grayling without Mike's involvement. We work together very well. I think I provide in some ways the bad cop, the rigor, and Mike shows people the joy of doing this kind of work. And there's lots of laughs, there's lots of real insights, and also information coming from Mike about the bigger picture of these species and in all its aspects of the niche and the ecology. And I'm constantly learning myself from Mike.
Yeah, likewise.
One of our main objectives on this trip to the Mesilinka River was a real focus on capacity building and training. For this trip, we actually brought out 2 crews of people, which got a bit complex and complicated at times, but ended up being really fun. We really wanted to pair inexperienced swimmers with our more experienced project partners and break down some of those barriers to entry on these surveys.
But the salmonid species that are going to be in here are Arctic grayling. That's our first priority always for counts. Even when there's lots of other stuff that's interesting, we really have to make sure that our count of grayling is reliable, because that's what we're studying. Bull trout are priority number 2. I don't expect there to be lots of them. Rainbow trout are pretty abundant in here, so that's priority number 3. And whitefish will be the most abundant species that we see. Arctic grayling, bull trout, those are going to be easy numbers. Anytime we see one, we're going to jump for joy. Like, it's going to make a real important note of that.
It's definitely complicated moving down the river with this many people, keeping tight communication while still completing our survey. However, the effort we put in really paid off, and we found lots of opportunities to stop and work through the specifics of the snorkel method. I'm Bryce O'Connor, safety boater and fisheries biologist at Chucho Environmental.
So our approach here was to look one way. So back I was looking to him. Mike and I were right like this in the center. I was looking left, he was looking right, so that we're not over counting the same fish. When it narrows like that, and that requires a quick communication. So
From a philosophical approach, I guess, or something along those lines, what's the point in doing this if we don't pass on what we've learned in our years? It doesn't go to the grave with us, so we want to facilitate the continuing of this kind of long-term approach and pass it on to the next group of biologists and technicians that can carry on this thing. And so what we have behind us is a group of learners, and they're getting a good sense for the intricacies and the nuances around this fantastic method, if it's done correctly and with the right amount of communication and coaching from John Hagan mostly, and myself too. this thing can continue once our bodies are too decrepit to handle this kind of thing.
Wow. 4 and 5.3.
Fish is similar to yesterday.
Yeah, and sometimes, and again, if the sunlight, like if you've got a sunlit section, you can see it forever. So there is some variability. This is a big one. So this is exactly the size at which we transition from orange to white tag. This is 375.
Accurate size estimation underwater is a really critical part of our method, and so using models like this really helps our crews calibrate at the start of each day and index section.
My name is John Hagan. I'm an independent biologist and have been since 2001. A significant portion of my work has been aligned with Chucho Environmental, both as a supporting consultant, but also in being involved with crew development and mentorship.
My name is Mike Stamford, and I'm an independent biologist, and I'm co-leading the evaluation of the Arctic grayling populations in the abundance of adult fish in this Mesilinka River project.
The snorkeling study we're doing this year has a couple of main overall objectives. In the most important sense, we're trying to update our assessment of the status of the population. By status, I mean the health of the Arctic grayling population. You know, how are they doing? How viable is the population? Has the abundance increased or decreased? The methods that we're using are set by a prior study that happened in the mid to late 90s. We would really like to update those methods, modernize them, and increase our spatial coverage of the watershed to learn more about the population structure, where the critical habitats are. But we're constrained in that we need to be able to compare current results to past results to be able to evaluate trend in the population growth rate. And so we've made the additional investment in what's called a mark resite study. So we've spent quite a bit of effort to mark Arctic grayling by catching them, putting a tag in their back throughout the study reaches. And now we're swimming over those grayling and seeing what proportion of the tags we see. So the proportion fish that are actually present in the watershed that we know through our tagging efforts, the proportion of tagged fish that we see, that's our what we call a detection probability, and that gives us an expansion factor so that we can expand the counts of all Arctic grayling into a population estimate. So that's our goal, is to have a quantitative study.
It's been an honor to work with our esteemed colleagues John Hagan and Mike Stamford. Their contributions to our understanding of Arctic grayling populations in the Upper Peace River are truly remarkable, and their commitment to mentorship and training over the past 10 years is a testament to their character. As these monitoring programs continue, we look forward to working with them and preserving, or where possible, improving the conservation status of Arctic grayling in the Williston watershed.